Let's get right into it. Number 7, your body will age differently. Time moves weird in space, and no, we're not just talking about forgetting what day it is on the ISS, although that also happens. We mean literally, your body ages differently in space. This is partially because of telomeres, those protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes that get shorter as you age. In some space missions, like Scott Kelly's, researchers found that his telomeres actually lengthened in space, which sounds great until you realize they went back to normal or even shortened rapidly once he returned to Earth. Translation: space might pause some aspects of aging and then hit fast forward the second you land. Also, remember that cosmic radiation? Yeah, it ages your cells too, in a slow motion, invisible, surprise you have cancer kind of way. On top of that, your immune system weakens, your muscles and bones waste away, your vision blurs, your spine stretches, and your gut bacteria gets confused. So basically, you go to space and your body starts playing biological roulette. But hey, at least you'll get great photos of Earth before your joints fall apart and your DNA starts acting like a rebellious teenager. Number 6, your DNA might mutate. Let's get this out of the way. Space wants to mess with your genes. We're not talking about turning into the Hulk, sadly. We're talking about cosmic radiation, the invisible, high-energy particles zipping through space that Earth's magnetic field usually protects you from. But up in orbit, especially on longer missions like to the Moon or Mars, you're exposed to that radiation like a marshmallow in a microwave. And what does that radiation do? It can damage your DNA, snipping it, warping it, and generally treating your chromosomes like a bad editor with scissors. Over time, this damage can lead to mutations, which raise the risk of cancer, neurodegenerative disorders, and even heart disease. In one famous NASA experiment, astronaut Scott Kelly spent a year in space while his identical twin, Mark, stayed on Earth. Afterward, scientists found that Scott's gene expression had changed significantly. About 7% of his genes were behaving differently even after he came back. Some of those changes reversed, others didn't. So, congratulations. Space might not give you superpowers, but it might give you unstable genome expression and a lifelong subscription to the radiation club. No cape, just slightly more broken proteins. Number 5, your blood changes direction. Imagine your circulatory system as a chilled out highway. Everything has a route, a rhythm, a sense of purpose. Then you go to space and the whole system turns into a traffic jam with a death wish. On Earth, gravity helps pull blood toward your lower half, keeping things balanced between your chest, head, and legs. In space, gravity leaves the group chat and your blood starts heading wherever it pleases, usually upward. This creates something called headward fluid shift, which, besides making your face puff up like a bagel, also increases pressure in your head and decreases it in your legs. Your body's like, what do you mean blood pools in my shoulders now? That wasn't in the manual. The result? Swollen faces, reduced leg volume, and a general sense of, why do I feel like I'm about to pop? Even worse, some astronauts experience orthostatic intolerance when they return to Earth. Translation: their body forgot how to pump blood properly when standing upright. So they faint. A lot, because space has reprogrammed them into spaghetti people. The good news? Compression suits and lots of prep help reduce the damage. The bad news? Your blood still refuses to follow orders in space. It's up there just vibing in your skull. Number 4, you shrink, then grow. You know that dream where you grow taller overnight? Space kind of delivers that, temporarily and with a weird sci-fi twist. In microgravity, your spine decompresses. On Earth, gravity squishes your vertebrae together like a reluctant sandwich. But in space, that compression vanishes. Your spine stretches out like it just discovered yoga and zero consequences. The result? You can gain up to 2 inches in height while in space. Congratulations, you're now slightly taller and still can't dunk. But don't celebrate yet. When you return to Earth, gravity immediately slams your spine back down like, nope, we're not doing that. You shrink back to your normal height within days, and you might even end up with back pain from the whole spinal bungee jumping act. Also, that spinal stretch doesn't mean you're walking around like a majestic giraffe in space. You're still floating, disoriented, and wearing a diaper. So the fantasy wears off quickly. Still, it's wild to think that space makes you taller, only to snatch it away the moment you touch ground again. Just another way space likes to mess with your hopes and your vertebrae. Number 3, your eyes get weird. Here's a fun surprise from space. Your eyeballs get squashed. No, really, long-term astronauts often experience vision problems, and it turns out space has beef with your optic nerves. Remember all that fluid shift we mentioned earlier? That pressure doesn't just puff up your face, it also shoves on your eyeballs from behind like an impatient toddler. The result? Your eye gets flatter, your retina gets squished, your vision turns blurry. Welcome to SANS, Spaceflight Associated Neuroocular Syndrome, which is NASA's polite way of saying, space messed up your eyes real bad, bro. This has affected over 2/3 of astronauts on long missions. It causes farsightedness, optic nerve swelling, and in some cases, irreversible vision loss. Imagine floating in space, looking out at the majesty of Earth and realizing it all looks like it's behind foggy glass. And guess what? We still don't fully understand how to fix it. Glasses can help, but space-induced vision changes are a medical mystery that's still unfolding. So, you go up there to explore the stars and come back squinting at your houseplants. Thanks, space. Real cool of you. Number 2, your bones, abandon. Space is the ultimate bad roommate, and the first thing it does is steal your skeleton. On Earth, your bones are constantly working out even when you're not. Every time you stand, walk, or fall dramatically onto the couch, your bones are resisting gravity, rebuilding themselves stronger. But in microgravity, they just stop caring. Astronauts can lose 1% to 2% of bone mass per month in space. That's per month. Imagine going on a 6-month space vacation and coming back with the bone density of a damp croissant. That's how fast space tries to turn you into a brittle meat puppet. This lovely condition is called spaceflight osteopenia, and it's like your body assuming you're now a jellyfish and no longer needs sturdy bones. Most of the loss happens in the hips, spine, and legs, aka the parts that used to do something useful with gravity. NASA tries to fight it with resistance workouts and floating treadmills, but it's still a war your bones are quietly losing. Even after astronauts return to Earth, it can take years to fully rebuild what was lost. And sometimes, it never fully comes back. So yeah, space is cool, until you return and can't sneeze without threatening to shatter a rib. Number 1, your face gets fat. You made it to space. Congrats. You're floating, you're weightless, you're majestic. Until someone looks at you and goes, why does your head look like a balloon full of regret? Welcome to moon face, one of the first lovely things that happens when you enter microgravity. On Earth, gravity keeps your fluids politely pulled downward, meaning your blood and gooey inner juices mostly stay in the lower half of your body. But in space, gravity packs its bags and leaves you bloated. Without that downward tug, all those fluids drift upward, into your chest, your neck, your face. Your sinuses get stuffy, your cheeks puff out, and your eyeballs feel like they've been inflated by a party clown with poor judgment. Astronauts often look like they've been stung by bees just on the face. Puffy, red, nasal-voiced zombies trying to pretend they're okay in a $90 billion tin can. It's called fluid shift, and it's as glamorous as it sounds. Your body has no idea how to handle floating, so it just sends your blood on a head vacation and hopes for the best. So yes, you may be in space, but you'll look like you just ate 40 ramen packets and slept face down in a pillow full of salt. Welcome to orbit. The view is great, but your face will betray you. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.